Ready for a deep dive. Today we're tackling the idea of a perfect day. But not just any perfect day. We're going to be looking at this short story, A Perfect Day, by David Swaysgood. He kind of lays out this vision of like pure peace and joy, and we're going to break it down, figure out what makes it tick, maybe even find some inspiration along the way.
What gets me about this story, it's the contrast, you know? Like you've got this IT executive, right? But then he writes this incredibly personal story all about nature and spirituality. It's kind of
Yeah,
wild.
no kidding. Like when I first saw his name, David Swaysgood, I'm picturing like a total outdoorsman, someone who spends all their free time hiking and writing poetry, you know? Not exactly your typical tech guy.
It's like there's this universal yearning, right, for
Yeah.
peace, connection, that sort of thing. No matter what you do, who you are, it's kind of cool when you think about it.
Totally. And a perfect day. It really dives into that feeling. So it starts with our main guy waking up in a cabin. But hold on, it's not your average wake-up call. Try being jolted awake by a hummingbird outside your window.
Talk about setting the mood. Right from the get-go, you're right there in nature, feeling that peaceful vibe. And it just gets better. The guy's having mango for breakfast, and he's really taking his time with it.
Okay, and this is where Swaysgood's writing, it just blew me away. He doesn't just say the mango's good. He gives you the whole experience. Sweet nectar, juice dripping everywhere. He even talks about the stickiness. It's like he's saying, hey, this is life. Messy, but savor it.
Being present, that's what it's all about. Really experiencing each moment. And that mindfulness, it sticks with you as he goes on a hike with his husband and their dog. Just wandering through the woods, noticing the little things, even the insects. Then, bam!
Waterfall. And the way Swaysgood builds the scene, it's incredible. 1 minute, it's all quiet observation. The next, you're hit with this wall of sound, the spray, everything. It's like he wants you to feel it.
The highs and lows, right? Just
Right.
like a perfect day has those moments of excitement and then quiet again.
And just when you think it can't get any more magical, they turn a corner and there's this, well, it's unexpected. A Native American man and a young girl just standing there.
And that's where things get really interesting. They pop up out of nowhere, share this crazy experience,
Mm-hmm.
a sled ride, no less,
Mm-hmm.
and then poof, they're gone.
It's almost like another world, you know? Like they represent something deeper, like a connection to the land, maybe even a different way of seeing time. It really makes you wonder about that sled ride, what it all means.
Yeah, it's not your typical perfect day activity, but it fits so well. Maybe it's about being open to those unexpected joys, the stuff you don't plan for, like pure childlike fun.
Love that. And as the day wraps up, they end up having dinner with some new friends under the stars, talking about life, reality, the whole shebang. It really highlights that need for connection with nature, with people. It's all part of finding peace, you know?
It's not just about what you get out of it. It's about sharing it. Those deep conversations, that feeling of, wow, I'm alive. And knowing that Swaysgood wrote this after a really tough day, that adds another layer to it all, don't you think?
It's incredible, the whole origin story of the story. I mean, it's like writing, it was his escape, this way to find peace, even with all the stress he was dealing with. Pretty powerful stuff. Talk about an escape hatch, right? He needed that, clearly. So in the epilogue, Swayzga talks about how he was scrolling through social media, feeling kind of bombarded by all the negativity, when a friend's post caught his eye.
It was a simple question, really, just what's your perfect day? But for him, that was like a huge spark.
He said the words just started pouring out of him, like just that little nudge to imagine something positive. It just opened up something in his mind, you know? Makes you think, what would our perfect days look like if we really sat down and thought about them?
Definitely something to think about. But it's interesting, he didn't overthink it.
Yeah.
Even with those Native American characters, he just kind of let them happen, let them flow into the story.
Like trusting that there was a reason for them being there, even if he didn't know what it was yet. Kind of cool, actually. Letting go of that need to console everything and just letting the creativity do its thing.
Totally. And the funny thing is, he admits he didn't fully get what those characters represented
Yeah.
until later on. It's like the story itself was telling him what it meant as he was writing it.
You can almost sense him figuring it out as he goes, you know? And that just makes it even more powerful for us as readers. So we've got this idyllic day, right? This escape he created. But then it ends on this really thought-provoking line. Such is the world where we plant seeds. Now it's time to water them. What you make of that?
It's more than just a nice thought, isn't it? It's like he's challenging us, saying, okay, you've imagined your perfect day. Now what are you going to do about it?
Right. Like, what are those seeds in our own lives? The things we could be doing, even little things, to create a reality that's a little closer to that perfect day. And it just gets me thinking, Here's this guy immersed in the tech world, right? But his story, it speaks to something so universal, that need for peace, connection, just a little bit of awe in our lives.
It's amazing, right? Like, it goes beyond his job and just connects with something deeply human in all of us.
It really makes you think, huh, this IT guy living in the digital world finds peace by writing this story about nature and finding peace in simple things. Kind of ironic, right?
Yeah, it is. But I think a lot of us feel that even if we don't realize it. Like,
Yeah.
we might be surrounded by technology and stuff, but we still want those real experiences, those moments to take your breath away. You know what I mean?
Totally. Like Swaiskat said, even in this techie world, we all crave those simple joys, a good walk, a deep conversation, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. It's like it's a part of us. And that desire for a perfect day, whatever that looks like for each person, it connects us, you know? It's like a shared human experience, wanting a little peace and happiness, especially when things feel chaotic.
So as we wrap things up here, one last thought for you listening. What does your perfect day look like? What could you start doing, like today, to make it happen?
And it doesn't have to be anything huge. It could be just going for a walk, putting your phone down for a bit, even just letting yourself daydream.
Just like Swaisgood did when he wrote his story. Maybe your seed is a project you've been putting off, or calling someone you love, or just letting yourself be quiet for a minute. Whatever it is, remember, peace and connection are always there, even if it doesn't feel like it. Sometimes you just have to imagine it and be brave enough to take that first step and see what grows.
I love that.
And on that note, we'll leave you to think about your own perfect day. Until next time, keep exploring and keep nurturing those seeds of joy wherever you find